everyone. Welcome to Alpha English Podcast, the place where learning English becomes simple, fun, and powerful.
If you want to speak English with confidence, understand real conversations, and improve faster than ever, you're in the right place.
Every episode, we break down English in the easiest way possible.
So get ready to learn, grow, and level up your English.
Let's start the episode. Okay, so I was at the grocery store yesterday, and the cashier said, "Have a good one." And I just said, "You too. Take care."
Wait, take care? Since when do you say that?
What do you mean? I say it all the time.
No, listen to yourself. That's a smart response. You didn't even plan it. It just came out naturally.
Wait, I didn't even notice I said it.
And that is exactly what we're talking about today.
Okay, yes. So today we are talking about 50 smart English responses, the kind of replies that just make you sound natural, quick, and confident in everyday conversations.
And honestly, this is one of those topics that changes how people feel in English, because it's not about grammar rules. It's about reacting fast, like a native speaker does.
Exactly. And before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps us keep making these episodes for you.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, following the show means you never miss an episode.
Okay, so let's start. Luke, what happens when someone says something and you genuinely don't know how to reply?
That happens to me in my own language sometimes.
Right? It's not just an English problem.
So the first smart response we want to give people today is, "I hear you." It's simple, but it shows you're listening and you understand, even if you don't fully agree.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Someone says, "I'm just so tired of this weather." You say, "I hear you. It's been rough this week."
Nice. Short summary. I hear you equals you sound understanding without necessarily agreeing.
Number 2, that makes sense. This one is huge. People use it when someone explains something and you want to show you followed their logic.
Like when?
Say your coworker explains why a project is delayed. You just say, "Ah, that makes sense," and it shows respect for their explanation.
Quick summary. That makes sense equals you followed them and you respect their reasoning.
You know, I think about learners who whisper these phrases to themselves before a meeting, just so they don't freeze up when someone asks them something. That's not overthinking. That's exactly how confidence gets built, one phrase at a time.
That's a good one, Lisa. Thanks. Okay, number 3. Fair enough. This is one of my personal favorites.
When do you use that one?
When someone gives you a reason you didn't expect, but it's valid, like, "I couldn't come because my car broke down," you say, "Fair enough."
I actually used fair enough wrong once. I said it after someone told me sad news, like their pet had passed away. It just came out automatically, and they looked at me so confused.
Oh no, Luke.
I know. Fair enough only works for reasons or explanations, not emotional news. Lesson learned the awkward way.
Good reminder. Save fair enough for logical explanations, not emotional moments.
Number 4, no worries at all. Super common, very natural, used when someone apologizes or asks for a small favor.
Like, if someone says, "Sorry, I'm 5 minutes late," you say, "No worries at all."
Exactly. It's warmer than just saying okay or fine.
Totally. Number 5, I couldn't agree more. This is for when you strongly agree and want to sound enthusiastic about it.
Give us a scenario.
Sure, someone says, "I think remote work is so much more productive." You reply, "I couldn't agree more."
Quick summary, this phrase shows strong agreement, more powerful than just saying, "Yes, me too."
Okay, that's 5 smart responses down already. We've got a lot more coming, so stay with us.
Yeah, this episode is packed. Let's keep going. Number 6, that's a good point. Simple, but people underuse it. It shows you're genuinely considering what someone said, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
When would you use it?
In a meeting, if a colleague raises something you hadn't thought about, you say, "That's a good point. Let's think about that."
Nice. It makes the other person feel heard and respected. Number 7, I see what you mean. This is for when something clicks for you mid-conversation.
Like if someone explains a confusing rule and suddenly it makes sense, you say, "Oh, I see what you mean now."
Exactly. It's that little aha moment turned into words.
Number 8, it is what it is. This one's very casual, used when something can't be changed and you're accepting it calmly.
Give us an example.
Your flight gets delayed. Someone asks how you feel about it, and you just shrug and say, "It is what it is."
That phrase carries so much emotional maturity in 4 words.
Right? Quick summary. Use it for situations outside your control when complaining won't help.
Number 9, you've got a point there. Very close to number 6, but slightly more casual and personal.
How's it different exactly?
That's a good point. Feels a bit more formal, like in a meeting. You've got a point there feels more like a chat between friends.
Ah, subtle but useful distinction.
Number 10, I'll take your word for it. This is when you trust someone's opinion or fact without checking it yourself.
Say a friend recommends a restaurant and says it's the best in town. You say, "Okay, I'll take your word for it."
And that's 10 down already.
Halfway to 20, keep going strong.
Actually, before we move to the next batch, I want to say something. I know some of you listening are the type who write these phrases down in a notebook, then practice them alone in your car before you actually try them with a real person. I want you to know that quiet rehearsal isn't silly. That's exactly the bridge between knowing a phrase and owning it.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Okay, let's keep the momentum going. Number 11, that's fair. Shorter cousin of fair enough, used the exact same way but even more casual.
I didn't reply because I was swamped at work. That's fair.
Quick and painless.
Number 12, good to know. Used when someone shares useful information you didn't have before.
The store closes early on Sundays. Oh, good to know, thanks.
Simple, polite, and useful in almost any context.
Number 13, I'm with you on that. A warmer, more personal way to say you agree, almost like you're standing beside them emotionally.
I think we should leave early to avoid traffic. I'm with you on that.
It has a nice team spirit to it.
Number 14, not gonna lie. This one's used before you say something honest, sometimes slightly awkward or blunt.
Oh, I use this one constantly.
Give us an example.
Not gonna lie, I completely forgot we had a meeting today.
Classic.
Number 15, same here. One of the simplest ways to show shared experience or feeling.
I'm exhausted today. Same here.
Short, natural, and instantly relatable.
Okay, that's 15 responses down. We are absolutely flying through this list.
Let's keep the energy going into the next batch. Number 16, that checks out. Used when something makes sense based on evidence or facts.
The traffic app said 40 minutes, and it took exactly 40 minutes. Yeah, that checks out.
A little more logical, a little more like a detective confirming a theory.
Number 17, I hadn't thought of it that way. Great for showing humility when someone gives you a new perspective.
Example?
Someone says, maybe the delay was actually good. It gave us more time to prepare. Huh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
That's such a graceful way to admit someone changed your mind. Number 18, tell me about it. This one's interesting because it doesn't literally mean explain more. It means I know exactly what you mean.
Ugh, Mondays are so hard. Tell me about it.
Confusing for learners at first, but so common once you notice it.
Number 19, that tracks. Very modern, very casual way of saying something is consistent with what you already believed.
He said he'd be late again. Yeah, that tracks.
Short, a little dry, very natural among younger speakers.
Number 20, I'll give you that. Used when you admit someone made a valid point, even if you still disagree overall.
Okay, remote work does save commute time. All right, I'll give you that, but I still prefer the office.
Perfect for partial agreement. You're not fully convinced, but you're being fair.
20 down. We are absolutely flying through this list.
Let's keep the pace going. 10 more coming up.
Number 21, easier said than done. Used when advice sounds simple but is actually hard to follow.
Just relax for the interview. Easier said than done.
A perfect little dose of honesty in there.
Number 22, that's on me. Used when you're taking responsibility for a mistake, casually and without over-apologizing.
I actually said this one wrong for years. I used to say, that's on me, when I meant to say, that's up to you. And once I completely confused a client on a work call.
Oh no, how did that go?
They thought I was blaming myself for something that hadn't even happened yet. Very awkward silence on that call.
Well, now we know that's on me means it's my fault, not it's your decision.
Number 23. It's not a big deal. Used to reassure someone who's worried or apologizing too much.
Sorry I spilled a little coffee on your desk.
Oh, it's not a big deal. Don't worry. Great for keeping things light.
Number 24. I stand corrected. A slightly formal, slightly funny way to admit you were wrong. Actually, the meeting is at 3, not 4. Ah, I stand corrected. It has a nice touch of humility with a little dignity attached.
Number 25. Better late than never. Encouraging phrase when something happens later than expected, but it's still good that it happened.
I finally finished reading that book.
Well, better late than never. And that's 25. Exactly halfway through our list.
Can I say something here? I think about the learner who's been listening to this whole list, maybe on a bus or while cooking dinner, quietly repeating a phrase under their breath so it doesn't get lost. That repetition, that little private mumbling, that's not embarrassing. That's the sound of a new voice being built, phrase by phrase.
That's exactly right. And we're not stopping here.
Nope, 25 more smart responses still to go. Let's keep this energy alive. Stay connected for next part. Bye.